Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Frugal Mama, and
Tasha.
okay, Tasha Etters. And this is the Turner Talks podcast. We would like to welcome you in. Thank you so much for being here. And we have a very special guest today. It is Dr. Jordan, herbalist and acupuncturist, and just overall, uh, what can
Chinese
I say?
medicine, just overall, just natural,
Just,
just healing.
Let's heal. And let's see. Let's make it do what it do in 2022. Yes. Okay, so Dr. Jordan, let me just preface everything by saying, let us, you do have to remember that check with your doctor, medical professional before like implementing anything and all of that. So legal disclaimer. And let us know if y'all can hear us in the chat before we move forward, because we started a whole interview without everybody being able to hear us. Hi, Celestial. Hello. Let us know before we Dr. Jordan starts to speak so we can move forward. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear me now? Yes. Can you hear us? So you can hear us. Put a one in the chat, please. This little thing. I need the kind that's adjustable.
Real fancy. She already ready to upgrade.
Okay. I hope everybody can hear me. Usually they can hear me. Let me see. We'll wait on somebody just to make sure, because that'll be a disaster. If you can hear us, put a one in the chat, please.
They put a one.
Okay, awesome. Oh, okay. All right, thank you, Teapot. All right, so if we do have a moderator in the chat, feel free to welcome guests in so we can, let the podcast flow, as it will be uploaded eventually to other platforms. So please sit back, relax, grab you a snack, and let's see what Dr. Jordan has to tell us all about.
You're ready to learn.
Yes. Okay. All right, Dr. Jordan, go ahead.
All right. So I guess y'all want to know a little bit about how I got to this point.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, of course, I always got to start out with, the hometown. I grew up in Clarksville, Texas, and that area is, it's Northeast Texas, it's rural. So you're going to have a lot of just regular doctors. When I say regular doctors, I mean, your general practitioner, their family medicine, you go to them if something come up, whatever. A lot of people that I knew, especially in my family, had a lot of similar diseases. It's like diabetes, heart disease, cancer. It's like, and they're always on like blood thinners. And so I was always hearing about all this. So I'm like, why are people, what is the deal here? What can we do? Why is this the only solution?
Mm-hmm.
And so of course, I went through school, did the whole biology pre-med program at Prairie View A&M.
Woo! Yes. I graduated from Prairie View too. You already
Okay. All right. So we got some PV Panthers, some productive, what we do.
PV. Yeah, you know what it do.
But I went through that program, I was still feeling like, okay, I'm kind of missing something here. I don't feel confident that I'm going to have all the tools I need to really help somebody through a condition versus maintaining that condition. I don't like that word, maintenance. I like healing.
I know that's right.
That's, I don't like staying right here. I want to go up. So if I thought like, okay, if I feel this way, I got to my last year at Prairie View and I was like, I kind of feel like, it's some stuff some other stuff I need to look into before I really jump into medical or dental school, because at the time I was like, I could go either way with this, but I was just, Spirit was like, no, we're not doing this. You need to take a few months off, take a year, whatever you need to do. All those schools are going to be there, do what you need to do, look up stuff, take, just rest. And so rest as in keep working, but figure it out first. So I
Right.
did my research, came across the American College of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine in Houston, Texas. I wanted to stay in Houston at the time anyway, so I was like, okay, this is perfect. I went to the school, toured all that stuff. It looked like something that I needed to do. It
Mhm.
resonated with me. It felt like I was like, okay, so they do acupuncture, they do herbs. It was like the total program, like the total
Mhm.
package. Because growing up, I was always, with my mom doing stuff. And so like we would go to the health food stores on the weekends and she was always getting all kinds of supplements and stuff. And so when I'm looking at stuff with her,
Mhm.
I'm seeing that a lot of these supplements and even like they would even have herbs on the shelf. A lot
Mhm.
of this stuff actually was helping conditions that I had heard about, through, family members were going through. And I'm like, well, why can't they just use that?
Mhm.
And so I kept remembering that in my head. I was like, it's just another way. And so that's
Mhm.
how I got to that. By like the road was like this. It wasn't
Mhm.
straightforward, but I finally got to it. And so that's how I got here. I mean, I had my own health issues. I went through a whole like thyroid storm, literally, when I was in college. And the very first doctor that I saw was like, "Oh, let's just do surgery and take it out." Because
Mhm. They always want to do some surgery real quick though.
tell me, and because he was like, "Oh, you're gonna have to get it taken out." Well, he was like, "You're gonna have to take medicine for the rest of your life, so you might as well just take it out now." And I'm like, "I'm only 20 years old.
Yeah.
Like, what?
The rest of my life, maybe 80 years.
What? Oh yeah, like you already shortening my lifespan. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and not to say anything about somebody who has already done this for
Mhm.
whatever reason. That's what you had to do at the time, or that's all you knew. But I'm 20 years old. That's not. I did my research when that happened to me, and I'm like, I'm not even really supposed to be in this category right now.
Right, right.
Like, how do what caused this?
Mhm.
And so that's what my parents would always ask, because at the time I was still, I'm still on my parents' insurance. I'm in school. So they're asking me like, okay, what's the cause? So when Western medicine is not able to tell me the cause, that starts getting my gears going like, okay, I need to figure out something else. I
Mhm.
don't think this being in Western medicine is for me. So that's how I
Mhm.
got here.
That's right. That's right. I'm glad you said that because I think a lot of times we feel like that's the only our only solution, our only choice is to because with the fibroid, I have so many people have so many women have fibroids, and the first thing is
Hmm.
okay, you need to remove them, you need to this, that, and other. And I've heard so many people through natural remedies shrink their own fibroids or like they virtually invisible, changing their diet,
Right.
and doing some other things to help with those issues.
Hmm.
Um,
But so like most of the, like she was saying, the medicine, they tell you how to take it, for the rest of your life. But the thing about the our medicines is it may heal this, but it's causing liver failure or some other type of kidney disease. Like, okay, so now I'm gonna have to take a pill to get over the kidney
It's,
disease or the liver
Mhm.
failure,
it's a
and we
trade off.
got to get away from. I'm not saying that there is a natural cure for everything, but things that there may be a natural cure for,
Hmm.
you need to look into it.
Yeah.
Right.
And before we had like this medical system, there was pretty much a natural cure for everything, though. Really, I mean, but there's a lot
Hmm.
of things that have been created over time that, some things may not be able to be treated completely naturally now because it's not naturally, a current thing. But um,
You getting it?
right.
Yep.
Okay, so there are when I went to my acupuncture, he said there is Chinese acupuncture and there's Indian acupuncture And he's like, there are different types of acupuncture. I mean, like, I was thoroughly impressed. I was so like relaxed because I was skeptical when I went in. I was like, this is not gonna work, you know what I'm saying? Because I was in pain. I had like real bad back pain because like this top vertebrae is actually fused with my occipital bone, my skull.
Okay.
And I have some other things that's going on in my spine, and they were like, they first said like, you might need surgery. I was like, no, I'm not.
No, figure this out first.
And so then I was like, okay, they were like going to, give me some pain management and then so physical therapy, chiropractic, so all kind of stuff. So over the last 20 years, I've been doing all of these things. But I really don't like taking pain medication because it messes with me neurologically. I'm just like I'm loopy. I'm not walking in like a walking zombie. Right. So tell us about the particular type of acupuncture that you specialize in, and how it works, and the whole 9 yards. We want to hear it out.
Okay. I currently specialize. I always say currently because it's as you move along in this medicine, there's different needs at different times. But what I currently work with now is reproductive health and helping couples achieve their fertility goals, having a baby, whether they're wanting to do it naturally or through assisted reproductive technology, which would be the IVF and the IUI. And I work with women who have issues with their menstrual cycles. So if it's endometriosis, irregular periods, dysmenorrhea, where it's very painful, and people who have maybe no periods at all, and fibroids, and pretty much any kind of reproductive issue that can come up that is not from if it's more of a structural standpoint where they have to have surgery, like that's the only way, then we can help before and after. But if it's more of a physiological thing where, let's say, the hormones aren't functioning properly, or there's just like a lot of stress and we need to just help the system calm down, get some inflammation down to help everything function properly, then that's what I work with. And I also work with, helping people just stay well, like doing wellness, preventative care, pain management, stress management, and also the whole food therapy side, because with Eastern and traditional Chinese medicine, we have a whole section where we see food as medicine. And then I do Reiki. I like to do the energy work.
Oh yeah, I think your mic is rubbing something.
Oh, I might take it off. I'm sorry. I can take it off.
No, it's okay.
Or I'll hold it. Is that better?
Yep.
Okay.
And so, I like the food as medicine as well, because like when you start eating better, you really kind of feel, because you're like, I'm drinking more water until I feel better. I was like, you gonna feel better, like
I feel like I have energy.
Yeah, because that sugar is like it drains. You think you're getting this energy burst of all this, that, and the third, but it really is toxic.
But I don't even think the energy drinks even help. I think it's all in your mind, and then you like the taste. So I give me an energy drink, and it's gonna make me have energy. I don't even think they really work.
Dr. Joy, can you please help get her off these energy drinks?
Okay, you're
I'm gonna need acupuncture to get me off these energy drinks.
You're addicted. It's like they give you a buzz.
Yeah,
and then you get to this point, and then after that you crash.
Right.
It's just like, and it's quick, and so then you're like, okay, I think I need another one.
There you go.
That's what sugar does, though. It signals to the brain or something that, hey, this person is we got them. Let's go ahead and trap them.
It goes straight to the addictive center.
Yeah,
straight to it.
And to be honest, and that's what I was telling her. I say I try to get off of them, but I'll go for like 3 days, and then I'll be like, okay, I gotta have one. Just one more. I said, I'm just do one more.
Like, oh my God. But I think that could be cured through acupuncture, because they help people stop smoking. I've known somebody that I work with stopped. They swear by it. They did acupuncture and they stopped smoking. Like I'm not just one, but several, at least 2 or 3 people. So tell us how that works. Like you know what part of the body affects that, whatever. I don't know.
So, with the whole nicotine situation, we have nicotinic receptors in our body. So once they are getting lit up, there's a reward that happens. So you light those up from a synthetic, outside source. And so it's like, I like that. The body wasn't able to do it like that, right? That quickly. And so it wants more and it wants more. And then you have to keep having more. So you now, instead of 5 cigarettes a day, now you need a whole pack.
Yeah.
That the receptors, they kind of get over, they need more, like in order, they're desensitized. So they keep needing more and more and more. And so when you do acupuncture for smoking cessation, it helps retrain the nervous system. Because the nervous system is pretty much, getting overrun by that environment, that outside environmental thing, right? And so it just starts to retrain that, and it changes the way you crave things as well. So like the same system that works on food addictions also is for alcohol and cigarettes.
Oh, okay. So the same.
So you can have acupuncture to take away food cravings, also help you lose weight, right? Correct?
Yes.
You go get punched up.
I'm trying to tell you. I really, really wanted to start back doing it. Because we're trying to conceive. So so I was watching your podcast. Okay, we got a little freeze today. I was watching your podcast and you were saying how you all assist with blood flow before the actual pregnancy, and then after it is, I forgot, but you have like a before treatment and like after the your cycle, like this whole, I just love how the body is so divinely created that, like, just like you have a sleep cycle, sleep wake cycle, you have a menstrual cycle, you have all these cycles that work cohesively together. It is just magnificent.
You need a schedule for all these cycles.
You have to have a calendar.
Basically,
because I'm like, God,
I would encourage anybody who's interested to go to her podcast and actually listen to the whole thing. But can you like briefly tell us how that works with the before cycle, what you all do, and then fertility wise?
Yes. So it does. So what we do is either way. So if you're doing it with, like I said, IVF, IUI, or natural, we want to work with you before you conceive and after. So let's say I have a couple that comes in and they're naturally conceiving. We're going to work. I like to work with those patients for like 3 cycles or 3 months. It takes about 120 days for both the egg and the sperm to get to a higher quality. Now, we don't make new eggs, but your body can be better at selecting a higher quality egg, which will put you at a higher position to get pregnant quicker. And then with that, and that also helps the pregnancy sustain itself. So that helps with reduce miscarriage rates as well. And sperm play a role in miscarriage as well. So if the sperm quality is bad, it's going to also, if something's not right with the conception, your body will end it either with the sperm or the egg. So that's why we like to work with both patients those 3 months before. Now, if somebody's doing IVF or IUI, we like to work with them in that same time frame, but then we want to work with them pre and post that same day. So if they're doing the embryonic transfer, so they've already fertilized the egg and now it's turning into an embryo, then we do, when they go in for transfer day, we do pre-IVF and then post-IVF. So they'll come right back to us that day. And we'll change up the acupuncture points a bit, but we're focusing on but in the beginning, we're focusing on bringing blood flow to the uterine area. And then when they come back in after the transfer is done, we're focusing on helping we actually don't need a lot of blood flow anymore.
Yeah.
So you're just wanting to sustain. See,
Mhm.
just keep everything stable, quiet, still.
I have a question. Like you say, getting, high quality eggs, like, age plays a factor in the quality of eggs. Are
Mm-hmm.
you able to assist, women up in age for as being able to produce higher quality eggs when you're doing the
So yes, so it's gonna, like I was saying before, it's gonna be more about helping your body select those good quality eggs and also maintaining egg quality at that point.
Mhm.
So we're going to focus a lot on helping with food therapy. That's where
Mhm.
that's going to come in for sure. And also getting in antioxidants. And now, since we have a lot of environmental toxins, we want to focus on toxin load, tox burden, because that plays a huge role in the aging process of your cells, which includes your sperm and your eggs. So when we start focusing on, now I'm doing a lot of like drainage and detox protocols before patients come in to, before they conceive,
Mhm.
because I'm seeing now that we have so much in our environment now
Yeah.
that is causing fertility to decrease. Because just 20, even just 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, people could just, I mean, sperm quality, sperm counts were through the roof.
Mhm.
Now we have men coming in sometimes with zero sperm and they're only like 30. That's
Oh yes.
insane.
Mhm.
You know, that's
Mhm.
not,
Yeah.
when did that become a thing?
Yeah.
And that's, we have all of the people well, for one, people are very stressed out. They're not
Mhm.
sleeping. They're on their phones, their electronics all the time, or they
Mhm.
have them in their lap. Um,
Mhm.
they're irradiating themselves with all this stuff. The lifestyle, all these things are playing
Yeah,
a
they say that, but you know what? That's why I keep my crystal. I keep my what is it, EMP, whatever it is. I don't play
EMF.
with the
Yeah,
crystal. I gotta keep that sucker
that's
nearby
real.
wherever I have my electronics. Tell us, are you like aware of what I'm talking about? You probably can explain it a lot better than me.
I use a few different things actually. So I used to have, which it broke actually. I guess it done its job, but I had a shungite piece, and
Uh-huh.
supposedly that's supposed to be a really good um blocker as well. It was like a little black
Mm-hmm.
stone, and they put it like on a sticker. I just put it on my phone. But I also carry like orgone pieces or organite, which is like I didn't bring the device with me, but I call it a device, but they put up like a bunch of crystals and resin, and then they put some copper coils in there and some like gold flakes. There's all kinds of like stuff in there to help like
Mm-hmm.
push out energy from, like, so you put it by you and it will make sure it kind of like redirects it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I had one similar, but not that one. But I need that. I'm going to get that. So and
As
it's
I
like,
always tell you, you forgot your little rock.
right.
oh God. Because I think like everything everybody says, energy it never dies. It transfers, and that's why I say, you know what, I like don't be walking around saying you're broke and all this kind of stuff, and
Yes.
don't
Thank
walk
you.
around because you
You
emit
manifest it.
that you emit that,
Yes.
and then that's what it gets attracted back to you. So that's why I say I try to start my day off with prayer, affirmations, and all this kind of stuff because I've been in that place where I was like depressed, and you can just tell that your whole body, it affects your whole body. So
Yes.
people with bad vibes, bad energy, negative all the time, I try to stay away. I'm like,
Oh yes.
run,
Oh yeah, it's a lot of energetic cleansing that I have to do after I'm done working with patients every day.
Mhm.
Just I do a little clearing. I keep some chimes to use at work or like a sound bowl, just
Mhm.
to shift the energy before I leave. you know,
That's
because
right. You want to carry that on with you. So,
yeah.
how to tell people about Reiki and how
Mhm.
it works? And
Mhm.
I'm a little bit familiar because I started investigating because I was like, because I said I'm not eating any of the chicken, pork, all that kind of stuff while we're trying to get ready to try IVF again because I just wanted to try to just be as healthy as possible. And I said, my job is very stressful. So I feel like that affected the, you know,
Definitely.
my our inability to have, because we how many eggs we get? 4?
We had 5.
5, and none of them were mature enough, you know.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, it was very, and then the second round we only had 1. And
Mm,
but I was like, this is, you know, whatever. I said, we got to just step back, take a whatever. So I've been working out. That it just helps. Working out just helps me. Like,
mm-hmm.
it makes me feel good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just cut out all meat. You just
Pescatarian. And I think probably even the last month, I probably just do some other things. I don't know. I don't know what to do, but I know I needed to do something. I don't know exactly what to do, but I knew I needed to do something. So tell us about Reiki and
Mm-hmm.
you know, some of the things that one might do, you know, that you can tell us for free.
So Reiki is an energy healing system. It is not, I like to start off with this, is not based upon any type of religion. But you are, so anybody who is attuned to it. So, you know, once you kind of go through the training, you get attuned. You basically, when they say you're attuned, it's more about you opening up your mind to accepting Reiki and accepting that you can help somebody heal by using universal energy. And so you focus on being a vessel for healing energy versus pushing your own energy out to heal somebody else, which is better because if you're using your own energy or you're focusing on that intention of using your own energy versus all the energy we have around us, all of the light energy that we have around us, then you you know you don't feel tired after you do it. So the intention that, especially when I start Reiki, it's always like I start off with a prayer, and you know I just start off, you know, by saying, you know, allow me to be protected while I work with this particular person, and that, you know, Reiki healing energy goes to whatever area of the body this person needs, and I leave it at that. I don't try to control it because I know and I trust that whatever healing is for that person is going to get to that person. So when you do Reiki, it's a laying of the hands type situation though. So whenever you put your hands over that person, about 7 to 10 hertz of energy can actually come from your hands. So when I do it, for sure, I always get a lot of heat that comes out of my hands, and patients can't feel it. And I usually get like this oscillation of energy where I can feel it kind of moving, like flowing back and forth, and it's just going back and forth. And so I'll go over the different chakras to see if they're out of balance. And I use crystals as well. So I'll use crystals that associate with each chakra. And I kind of go over, you can feel if something's out of balance. I also use a pendulum. And so when I use a pendulum, it'll either go clockwise or counterclockwise. So if it's going clockwise, it's telling me that things are going well. If it's going counterclockwise, it tells me that the chakra is out of balance and needs Reiki. So that's how I do things. And so it helps people ground. It kind of puts them in a meditative state that helps them, like it puts them on a frequency of healing. That's what I like to say. So it's like you're setting up a whole environment for healing just from person to person. And then even me as a Reiki practitioner, I can receive Reiki through healing somebody else. So it's kind of like this figure eight type situation where you have it returned back to you.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
The thing she was saying that was going back
Oh, I
and
have
forth.
it.
You had that. We used it on a couple of questions.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh yeah.
it was going around and around. It said it was going to be together till we die. So it was like, that's a long time. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But it was going around and around.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
I want to know about Chinese medicine. Like, okay, we have our medicine, but a lot of people don't even know what that consists of, and I'm one of them. You know what Chinese medicine is?
I know a little something, Okay, hold on 1 second, y'all. Before you before you answer that, or before you address that, I want to welcome everybody in. The reason why we're not speaking like to individuals and saying hello to everybody is because we're recording this for a podcast to be broadcast on other platforms. So wherever you get your podcast needs. But anyway, so welcome in. If you have a question, please leave a blue heart or whatever so we can see it. For Dr. Jordan, she is straight up out of Clarksville, Texas. What Texas is rid of it?
Clarksville.
Clarksville with a dirt.
That's what I find so fascinating, because most people just stay into the contemporary, what we always been doing and what we're gonna keep on doing. And I just find it fascinating. I feel like it's impressive. I'm so I want to say I'm just so proud of you for like stepping out, because people be critical, like, dang, that stuff ain't gonna never work, that kind of thing, mumbo jumbo, So so with that being said, you go ahead and tell us more about medicine.
Okay, so traditional Chinese medicine consists of acupuncture, the Chinese herbology, Tai Chi, Qigong, which are actually the movements. So that's medicine based upon just moving your body. Then we have the food therapy component, and Tui Na, which is, they usually put Tui Na and acupressure together. So that's sometimes you might see some of these, like they're just standalone acupressure type places where they just primarily press on acupuncture points. There's a whole system on that. You can do a whole treatment with that. And that's something that is done a lot more in China than it is here, at least here in Houston, for sure, here in Texas overall, that I know of. But then we have the cupping, and
got cupping.
Cupping is, there's two different kinds that I can do. So I can do the fire cupping, which is, I don't know if anybody's ever seen that, but in order to create the vacuum, we actually light up a little wand that's like filled with like it's a cotton ball at the end. We put 91% alcohol on it, light it up, put it into a glass cup, and then we put it on the body, and it'll like vacuum seal, and then it pulls up the muscle layer and all of the surrounding tissues into the cup a little. Like, it's not like excruciating pain or anything like that, but it gets pretty tight. And then once you take the cup off, it pushes the blood flow out, so it can move any type of stagnation that somebody may have from, say, working out. A lot of athletes get cupping done, and then it helps reoxygenate the muscles and the surrounding tissues as well. So it helps release anything that's stuck. So we can do glass cups or we can do plastic cups.
What did we get?
We got glass. I said, I saw the Rock do it. I said, if it's good enough for the Rock, it's good enough for me. Let me go ahead and try this out. And then I felt like, I said, for a couple of weeks, I felt so much better. But I was like, okay, if I probably need to get it done more frequently, because I work out every day. And
I had it done on my shoulder the other day because I have a small tear in my rotator cuff.
Okay.
It was really hurting. And it was really red up here. I said, "Oh, see, that's I'm in pain."
Yes.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
yes.
It was red.
I've seen people get there, like it'll be almost black.
Yeah.
That's how much stuff they just had in there, because it also helps release toxins as well, because it opens up your pores.
Okay, so I did reflexology too. I was trying to try it all.
Yeah.
They did reflexology, and he was working with my feet. He told me, "You have some issue, something going on in the lower back." I was like, "Yeah," and he said, "On the right side, whatever." He was like, "I was like, he is bringing me fulfilled." I was like, "You can tell all of this through my feet, like everything."
He had about 6 pages,
and he's like, He said, "You tend to gnaw." That ain't what he said. He tend to grind your teeth.
Uh-huh.
I was like, he can tell all this from my. And I was like, I wasn't trying to give him no clues because I was like, I don't want him to try to feed off of me because me a little stupid. So, what I mean, like, is there? I don't know. I don't even know what to add. How did you know all of that? Because everything is so connected, I guess.
Right. Yes. So now reflexology is something that I feel like I didn't get a total. That's like a whole other degree program, I would say. So, seriously, like they gave us some what do you call it, the not the extracurricular stuff. What is that called? Shoot, I can't even. Elective class. Elective, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They put that in the elective section, but I was already too bogged down with all the other stuff that I was like, you know what? If I want to do reflexology, I'll just do it after I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have we do work on a similar system where, I mean, it's all this stuff is connected for sure. But when we're doing the traditional Chinese medicine model, we can look at the tongue and see a lot of things that are out in your body. So we actually break down the tongue into different, like the different areas of your tongue, and designate those for different organ systems in your body. So if you have, like, let's say if somebody, I have them stick out their tongue and the very tip of their tongue is red, I'm going to be thinking that's the heart area. And so then I'm going to think, oh, do you have issues with anxiety, or do you have issues with insomnia? Because then there's telling me there's some heat, there's some inflammation. What's been going on with you? You have high blood pressure. What's going on? Because then that's just like all of these different, like you can see different patterns, different colors, different textures, coding. All of that stuff will tell you something's going on with either the digestive system, the liver, gallbladder, something's out there, the spleen, stomach, something's off. Even like if you look at the very back of your tongue and you see like changes in color and things like that, then you probably want to start paying attention to your kidney function. What's going on there? So yeah, so then we look at the pulse.
Because I've heard that before, but after you hear something, then you be trying to do it yourself. You're like, no, you don't know what you're talking about.
And she will lick her tongue tonight and swear I got heart problems.
No.
So yeah, she will Google it. I'm wondering, like, if you have a network, because like I'm studying exercise recovery right now. I just recently got my certification to be a personal trainer and health coach, and so it's like building. You start to build a network of people that you can refer people to for different things. So you're out of Houston, Texas. Do you have people that like I'm really like intrigued and I really want to work with somebody here. Like, do you have a network that you can refer people to?
So what I do is I'm in a few groups on Facebook and where they're acupuncturists. So I always check in with them first to see, hey, who's in where like y'all are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yes.
I'm like, who's in this area that I can refer to? And so like I'm always checking there when patients say, oh, I have a cousin or so-and-so that's in like Florida or something. Do you have anybody? So I do that. So I'm always asking there. As far as like, I guess we don't have like a website, I guess, that we use. But now what you can use if you wanted to look up like a board certified, like make sure that they are licensed acupuncturists and they're board certified, you can go to the nccaom.org just to look up to see, or you go to the state's website for licensed practitioners and look up their name and see if they have a license that's active.
And you have a license, you board certified, you all that in a bag of chips, honey. Yes.
And I have another question that I know some people may ask too. Does insurance cover some of this?
It can, yes. So it's up to the acupuncturist if they want to work with the insurance system. The issue sometimes is that we have to be very careful with who we get in network with or who we deal with because a lot of insurance companies do not pay very well. They might pay a practitioner $15 to $20 per session, and so that's not sustainable for any of us, which is why you don't always see us taking insurance, but we are able to accept health savings accounts, flex spending account. We can send our patients their super bills so that which would have all the coding that they would need in order to send to their insurance company, and they can deal with their insurance company directly to see if they can get a reimbursement. But yeah, then there are some situations where we don't where we can actually accept insurance and not even have to be in network. We can do out of network benefits.
So a session, let's say for a fertility a couple that's between the age of 25 and 30, one session normally, what does that range? And I know nobody can hold you to that because everybody's situation is different.
Right. As far as pricing or so down here for sure, it's a little, it just always depends. But for me, when I see let's say I do like a couple, they want to come in together. We'll do like an hour and a half talk, and then we'll do both of their acupuncture treatments together. That'll be $375. And then let's say they want to continue to come back in. The usual rate for acupuncture in Houston is around, like the follow-up rate is around $90 to $95 per session. And then if you pay, let's say you want to prepay for a package, then those sessions go down a little bit per session. So it might go down to about 85 or 80 per session, especially if you know, hey, I want to really commit to this. So I'm going to buy, 10 in advance. So then you already have a savings there.
So is it once a week you go in, or it just depends on what you're going, like for fertility?
So for fertility, we definitely want to have be more frequent with it. So once a week would be the best at minimum. If something's going on with like let's say we are like dealing with some other issues first, like say if somebody has endometriosis or fibroids and things like that, we might want to see them twice a week at first, which would be maybe the first couple of weeks, just to get everything on track. Or if there's a lot of emotional things coming up, we might want to see them more frequent at the beginning, but then we like to back off.
And how long does a treatment session last?
It's about 45 minutes to an hour total.
So no, I don't know what I'm so just fascinated. I'm just all over. Go ahead, you have more questions. But I was thinking of more about the Reiki because I know that a lot of people are offering like virtual Reiki, because it's this energy. But I was reading a book and it was saying like we have like this 99% energy or whatever, certain percent, and that's why we can see each other, we can feel each other and all this kind of stuff. But there is an energy that's just all around us that is steadily just moving, and that's what you can sink into. And kind of elevate your level of awareness. Do you know more? Can you expand more about that, or how all that kind of ties together?
So for the distance Reiki, whenever I learned Reiki, especially with distance Reiki, we were taught that energy is everywhere, and you can send energy anywhere. It's just it doesn't have a location, and it's strange trying to conceptualize it when you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just something you have to feel.
Experience, yeah.
You know, you have to experience it in order to really understand it. Because I like, even when I very first heard about distance healing Reiki, I was like, how is that gonna work?
Mm-hmm.
What is this? And then I did my first session with somebody, and I was like, oh, whoa, they actually got, like, this was as I had become a Reiki practitioner at that point. And so somebody asked me, that I had worked with prior to in person, and they had to go out of town, and they were, in another state, and they were like, hey, can we still do Reiki? I was like, let's try it, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we, did what we would usually do. And so what I do when somebody is on a distance side is that I can take, let's say, like, I just have like I can use like kind of like a model, or I use a piece of paper with like a person's, like it can be a person, and I just put like the chakras on there, and then I just go over each chakra. And so they actually are able to, when I'm doing that intentionally, they can actually feel that can actually transfer over time, over space. So energy goes beyond time and space.
And energy goes beyond. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Because I've been trying to tell people that. They be like, okay, you get that bad energy, you get a phone call, because a mere phone call can like drain you. Like it could be, or it can put, more life. You like, oh my gosh, this.
But see, she think, like I tell her, I'm a Virgo, and what I do is she'll say, you just don't like them, and they've never said anything to you. It's something about them I can't deal with.
But she be wrong a lot.
No, I'll be right.
I'm like,
I can't deal with them.
Hit or miss.
I have the Virgo rising in my chart, so, and then I have the Scorpio sun, so it's like, just feeling stuff. We can just feel it.
And I won't fool with you. I won't talk to you. I just it's something about you that I
and I'm like, love, happiness, peace, kumbaya, everybody.
I tell everybody you can't love and peace.
But that's how I know when it's somebody really toxic, because I just will not fool with them.
Yeah, I start to put my little shields, my invisible shields, and I start to envision, I visualize a lot of stuff especially when I'm working in this field. You have to protect yourself a lot, or you can't. You also have to be careful on how you take on things as well. And another thing that I have to be careful with is that you'll work with a case, and you get emotionally invested in how that case is going to go over time. And so that, while that is okay, but you also have to be okay with the outcome. So sometimes cases won't be like a whole, you'll be working with somebody, especially with the fertility side. And, you'll be working with somebody, and, you're really rooting for them. And then, sometimes it does come down to they're just not able to get to that point for whatever reason. A lot of times it's like a chromosomal thing, it's a genetic thing. And so they have to, then that's when they have to go on to do the IVF, especially when those things are coming up. But you're like rooting for, and it's like you don't get too, worked into that sometimes, because that can be draining in itself. So it's like, even though I do love working with these types of cases and the challenges that come up, I do love that. I do still have to be mindful of how much energy I'm.
And I was going to ask you that. Does it drain you sometimes when you're doing?
So
you have to ask for protection.
Yes, and that's something I have to be very mindful of. Sometimes, you, especially here in Houston, sometimes, if you leave the house 5 minutes too late, you're gonna be 10 minutes, behind schedule. And so, I'm trying to get to the office, I'm ready to start, but then I have to say, no, let me take a step back and let me ground myself before I start working with these patients. Let me say my prayers of protection before I start doing everything, because if you don't, you just jump in the water without your life preserved. So that's why you just have to have protection.
So as far as like so we're trying, like, what would you recommend, like, for as far as food therapy that we could just start out with, like we could just do to like increase our probability, like basic stuff, something.
One thing you really want to focus on is blood nourishing foods. So those are going to be all the foods that have a red color, even things that support your kidneys. So a lot of dark colored foods, eating organic foods, if at all possible, grass fed animals, if you decide to do that. Which at this time frame, I personally do recommend doing that, just because that is the quickest and the fastest way to get a lot of minerals in the in the beginning, so that you're supported. And but
grass-fed animals.
Oh
wow.
And doing even like organ meat,
like liver.
Ooh.
But I like to do those in capsule form because I can't.
Is that like cod liver? Because it's a cod, like some pills. I saw them like cod liver.
Yeah. So that's actually good too, because that's helping with the the vitamin D, and because that's really important. And there's some omega component, omega-3 component as well. So like your fish oils, all that stuff. So supporting when you focus on kidney, liver, uterine health, that's really where, of course everything, but focusing on those components, like at a basic level, making sure you're getting in plenty of filtered water. So a really high level filter, or even getting a water distiller and adding in your own minerals that's going to be really, really good. So
we have a Kangen water machine. It say it oxidizes the water, so it's like when I first used it, I was like, man, I feel hydrated. Like, you drink water, but sometimes you just still don't feel hydrated. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
No, it does not. Like some of the water that we drink, like I tell people, please just don't do tap water ever. Don't put it inside your body. I mean, if you can't help it, because that water, it just has so much going on. It's very chaotic. It hasn't been filtered through anything. It hasn't been structured. It's come from the plant to whatever. Just then it has pharmaceuticals in it and all kinds of stuff, and
lots of chlorine, because you can smell it.
Chlorine, fluoride, that stuff we don't need. We need to be able to use our pineal glands, stuff like think. Third eye.
Okay. So I need to use some liver tomorrow.
Well, okay, let's go. Okay, let me ask you this. I like gummy vitamins. I like gummy vitamins. I need to get the real vitamins, because I be like, oh my God, trying to swallow all them pills. I be like, ooh, just give me a shot.
It's missing something.
It's missing something. But I mean, what are your views on gummy vitamins versus, or is there a particular brand?
You got a whole store worth of gummy vitamins.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Coming on.
I like the gummy vitamins too, because they taste good. But
when I was going through a diet, I said I ate 4 vitamin C's, it's like orange slices.
Right. But so the one thing you want to make sure is, I don't have any specific brands to mention, but I do have ingredients, like make sure when you look on those ingredients that they are organically sourced, and that at least it doesn't have high fructose corn syrup or corn syrup. It's going to have sugar in it because it's a gummy, right? But make sure at least no corn syrup. Corn syrup is like,
you have to check them.
Is actually, and you can look this up yourself, it's like an anti-infertility situation. It negatively impacts fertility.
Corn syrup, okay. Go check that.
Probably all of them got corn syrup.
Maybe not. Okay, but we do recommend a regular A
regular vitamin.
Any particular brand that you, well, not that they sponsoring or anything, but we can still
They
talk about
should,
it.
but-
Y'all can contact Dr. Jordan herself live full effect.
And if you're in the Houston area, go pay her a visit.
Yes.
Get you some acupuncture.
Mm-hmm. And consultation. Because I'm like Reiki. I mean, like it's like unheard of that somebody specializes. I'm not like, it's unheard of to me because most people just acupuncture or just Reiki or just this, and you like a triple threat.
When I went and told her, I say it's Reiki. Reiki. I say she's a Reiki. I said she said Reiki.
If I lived in Houston, I would already have been knocking at the door. When can I get my appointment? I'm telling you.
Excited when I told her, she's a Reiki master. She said a Reiki master.
Reiki.
I had a virtual Reiki session. Like I said, it seemed like immediately you feel like something lifted, like a dark cloud lifted. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people, I was talking about this last night. We had an interview with House X Entertainment. And so if y'all didn't see that, go check that out. But I had an interview with House X Entertainment, and I said, I have had so many past traumas, childhood traumas, things that happened when I was 12, 11, 13, 14 years old. And once I was able, I read this book, Forgive for Good. And once I read that book, I realized that holding on to that kept me from kind of moving forward with my life. Because, and then I said, they still taking up space inside of me. They still have this hold on me. And I said, you know what? I forgive them because they probably were hurt. They were hurt, so they hurt people. And they what these things that happen, I cannot keep looking back and holding on to because I can't move forward. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to ask God to take it. Ask God to leave because I can't do it by myself. And so one day I just like did this deep breathing and whatever, and it just poured, and I felt lighter. And I was like, how can you forgive him? If I see him, I know what I'm saying. I'm whatever. I said, don't even worry about it. Because God said, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. You know, I don't even have to worry about it. I went through that to help somebody else go through it. To get through it, because a lot of times people feel so consumed they can't get it. They start doing drugs or other things. And in essence, we have the power. The power is within us. So I started, that's how I started getting into the Reiki and whatever. And I said, I felt this dark cloud kind of just, it wasn't a dark cloud. It was just like a little, a light,
Right. No, that is real. That really happens. I'm glad you brought up that, the trauma component. That plays a huge role in a lot of people's health conditions today. A lot of the things that they went through, they stored in their bodies. It manifested into a condition, whether it turned into a chronic illness or it actually turned into cancer, because that's how people store things differently. And I have talked to women that they've either gone through miscarriages, abortions, traumatic birth experiences, what have you. And sometimes that's the reason why they can't get pregnant, because they haven't been able to I guess I hope this is the right word.
We're getting the mic interference again.
It's these. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. We want to make sure we get it all. Okay.
Sorry, I'll repeat it. But the trauma, addressing the trauma component is really big, because you have patients that have stored a lot of this energy in their bodies, and they have not been able to either identify that was the problem. They were just unaware. They never had anybody to actually help them get through that. So what the body does actually, it will create it'll either store it or create another issue. So like if your mind can't deal with it, somewhere else is going to just move. It's going to manifest some kind of way. And so for some people, it'll manifest as a chronic illness. So I've seen patients that have, they'll be diagnosed with fibromyalgia, but you go back in history with them and you find out they had a traumatic experience in childhood,
Mm-hmm.
that is now creating this chaos in their body
Mm-hmm.
because they had this outside chaos happen to them. And
Mm-hmm.
some people actually get cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because they never were able to deal with that. So sometimes it's like it's the simple things, just
Mm-hmm.
getting all of that therapy in when it happens, but sometimes that's not available.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not a thing. But that's another thing that we deal with in this medicine, is that we look at the emotional component. We look at
Mm-hmm.
that soul component. What's happened to this person? Why
Mm-hmm.
are they experiencing this in their life? It
Mm-hmm.
can't just be, sometimes it's not a deficiency, it's not an excess, it's not just a medical condition.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the root? Where did this come from? So
Mm-hmm.
we have to go back in history. I mean, I'll tell you this, I had a patient, she kept complaining about her right side, like her arm pain. She kept having like pain around her liver gallbladder. And so we were talking on our initial consult. And so she was just talking, talking, talking. And all of a sudden, after she mentions all of this, right? She's like, oh, yeah. And because no, I actually had to ask her. I was like, have you had any accidents, any traumatic experiences in your life? And she was like, well, I broke my arm when I was little because me and my dad were in the car and we had a car accident. And I was like, oh, what side did you break your arm on? The right side.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had been carrying that, her arm healed, all of
Mm-hmm.
that, right? But now as an adult, she keeps having all this
Right side.
right side pain. And so it's stuff like that that we
Mm-hmm.
get a chance to break down for people. We get to be those extra eyes that can kind of put everything together
Mm-hmm.
instead of saying, okay, well, you have pain, so let's give you a muscle relaxer and some pain.
Mm-hmm. Just masking it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because in that model, there's no time to break it down. We have time. We
Mhm.
got time today.
You looked at my yes. And then you know what? Because I said there is no profit for the contemporary. What is it? What is it? Western medicine. There is no profit in a cure. There's no profit in healing. You get more profit when you keep them coming back to you. If they're not coming back to you,
Mhm.
your pocket's not getting no fatter. That's just my opinion. But
Right.
But you were saying a lot of times we have like fibromyalgia, and by you saying some trauma happened in their life, and everybody I know that have fibromyalgia,
Mm-hmm.
they had childhood,
Mm.
experiences that cause PTSD. Um, and a lot of times when people go to the doctor, they say, well, we keep going back and we keep going back, but they can't find anything. They say nothing's wrong.
Right.
They say it's in my mind. They say
Mm-hmm.
I'm going crazy. But like you say, it could be from what they experience, and that's why their body is doing this. There's no medical, what we consider a medical diagnosis, because
Right.
there's nothing really physically wrong with them. It could be mentally, and
Right.
yeah,
It's
but it does. Those
manifesting that.
things do affect your blood. It do affect your organs.
Yeah.
They do affect your muscles because if your muscles are not allowing the blood to flow properly, it's.
But there's not
concerning.
like a certain label
Right,
that
they
they
can
can say,
put it.
oh,
So
well, that's cancer.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they just white. They get
Yeah.
all thrown away.
Yeah. There's no like pinpoint treatment. So it's like, well, it's just in your
Try this.
head because we can't find anything. Nothing's coming up on anything. So a lot of that side of medicine is like a lot of physical stuff.
Mhm.
So if we're over here, we can see the abstract part, some of those things that, the unseen. We can piece things together through how we've been taught to look, listen, smell, see, all of that stuff. Because I mean, even when, even when patients come in, there's different smells that they have.
Mhm.
And some people like, and that even can tell us something is going on. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be a bad smell, but sometimes people have a distinct smell,
Mhm.
and that'll tell you, well, something could possibly be off with a different organ. So because we learned smells that are associated with each organ system and taste that are associated. So if a person keeps saying, "Oh, I keep craving really sour stuff," or "I keep craving really sweet stuff," so then I'm like, "Oh, they have an imbalance in like if a patient's like they keep having a sweet tooth, and there's nothing that can be done." I'm like, "Oh, they have an imbalance in their gut health. That's a swollen stomach issue."
I know, right? Okay, it's like
You
so
know, it's like people that
exciting.
crave ice. They say, "Oh, their iron's low." You know.
Yeah, stuff like that, right? Yeah, and then it's like, for us, if somebody keeps craving ice or they want something cold, then we're looking at, okay, they potentially have what we say a yin deficiency, which is, I'll just go ahead and translate it, which is a rough translation, but it's like a fluid deficiency. So like that fluid component of your body, or what makes your blood actual, this not viscous, but not thin, but that just right. There's a deficiency in that, which can lead to a blood issue for sure.
It is so fascinating. But
I don't want you to give all your secrets before people come see you.
Okay, but it's nothing like someone who specializes in what they do. So as we can get ready to close out the podcast, how can people reach you on social media? Or I know that you do have a YouTube channel now.
I do.
So tell us all about how people can reach you.
Okay. So Instagram, you can find me at I have a point for that. Just simple, straight up.
POINT point.
Yeah. So yeah, so I'm on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter because I got mad because I couldn't put my whole name on there.
Limited, you're trying to hold you down.
Trying to hold me down. I was like, well, it must not be meant to be. So then
There you go.
and I'm on YouTube. And then I have a podcast. So all of it is the same name. I have a point for that. I kept it consistent.
Awesome.
So you can find me on most now since I just started, started my podcast. I don't have a lot of episodes right now. I think I have 6 or 7 episodes right now, but it's hard to search. But if you search, you should find it. But I think it's because I don't have as much on there. Sometimes they don't put me at the top. One day they're gonna put me at the top, but it's okay.
At the top, yes, all the way up.
But so you can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcast, some of those other ones. I think some other podcasts, Anchor. I mean, a podcast platform.
Oh, your Instagram is popping! Yes. Okay. So is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience? If y'all have any questions, this is your opportunity to ask Dr. Jordan. We go by Dr. Jordan.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Somebody put Dr. Etters.
That's okay. That's what people would naturally do.
Listen, that's my last name. That's my family name.
So why did you choose you mostly on Facebook, you just put Dr. Jordan? It's because it's easier to remember?
Yeah.
And easier to pronounce. I'm like Dr. Etters. I'm like Eaters.
Yeah, that's the issue sometimes. It's like people I don't know. I just go by the first name.
And it's catchy. Not a lot of doctors go by their first name.
I know, I like it. I like it.
It makes it a little bit more comfortable too. It takes us out of that, stiff situation.
Yeah.
You don't have to be that stiff.
This is very informative. I've learned a lot, especially with the fertility. And like I say, we're going to look into that also because we'll start back about January after the holidays.
Now we starting now. We got.
No. I'm talking about with the cycle.
Yeah, but she said 60 days before. I've been doing it. I said I was doing a 90-day reset on my body.
Yeah, that's good.
I was eating about a gallon of ice cream, but they had me on hormones, steroids. I was taking 3-4 steps a day. And and I was like, I'm going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over here. And
that stuff is
now.
It is
a break.
I've never had to try it for myself, but I've only, seen it from the practitioner side, and it's intense, you know, and that's why I do a lot of, you know, I do try to you know, make sure I educate the patients on when they need to get treatment, because takes a big toll on a lot of people, just going through the whole process, even that whole thought process behind it, like, why do I have to do this to get to this situation?
And even though we know why we have to do
right,
it, you know, it's still, you know, stressful. And
it
every
is
time I
very
would give her a shot, she swear up and down I was trying to kill her. What? You did that on purpose. You trying to kill me. I'm trying to kill you.
I mean, that pain
It was intense.
like shots. We're not professional phlebotomists. Okay,
Listen,
they're like, I need to come up in here so y'all can do this, because I promise you, trying
they
to.
had people out here.
take
They
some
got
out
people.
on me.
They got y'all out here doing home injections.
Yeah. Okay.
There's
Yeah.
a
That's like,
lot
I don't
of
see
them.
how people be drug addicts, because I ain't gonna be able to do it. But okay. So Deanna, Dr. Jordan is an acupuncturist, herbalist, Reiki specialist, master. Okay. I mean, like, that's
She said she went to school.
Okay, she got certified, license, board certified in acupuncture, and so
Chinese medicine.
and her specialty right now is fertility, right? And she's like, that's fluid, because, you know, everything is evolving and everything like that. Deanna, she suffered she's surviving through, I like to say that, a stroke.
Okay.
And so she like I don't know, it's just like she recovered like herself, and she's like I just love watching. She's an inspiration to me, because sometimes when we go through some of those things, it's easy to give up. And so I really admire her tenacity, and could she benefit from some of the services as well?
Definitely. That is a major thing from a Chinese medicine perspective that is used, especially in the hospitals in China. Some of the hospitals in China are kind of like they have branches, so they'll have the acupuncture side and they'll have like the Western medicine side. And so when somebody has a stroke, they're instructed to get acupuncture every day. There is a documentary. I know for sure it is on. You can probably find it on YouTube, but it's definitely on Amazon. It's called 9,000. I think it's 9,000 Needles. It's about a man. He was I think he was like a star athlete or something. Like he was like always like competing in these. I think he was in those what do you call those, bodybuilding? He was a bodybuilder, and he ended up having a stroke. I mean, he was like, I think he was 30 or 40 something. And you know, he went from like perfect health, you know, athlete, all this stuff, and had a stroke. They raised money for him, was able to get him to a hospital in China, and they did acupuncture on him every single day, and he was able to regain a lot of his mobility back. So definitely works. When I was in school, I don't primarily work with that population right now, but when I was in school, we did experience a lot of that. I worked with various patients that had gone through, you know, strokes, Bell's palsy. There's Sadie. Hey, Sadie, girl. She said she gonna whatever. She
and, you know what? And I think even animals, because when I put our dog closer, she just can't stand our dog. But it's like he does something to me. Like I don't even like animals.
Puts hair all over your clothes.
He does put hair all over your clothes.
They do.
It's like he.
Yep.
I don't know. It's something.
She had. I'm telling you, she had to be in here because I was getting the room. You know, I was moving stuff around. And so she's standing here looking like, okay, what we're about to do? We're about to do a podcast or something. I'm like, yeah, we are. I swear she communicated that with me.
Okay.
But
some magic healing with the animals. They something else.
Yes. Oh yeah, but I'll say this real quick. Whenever I do Reiki with I do distance Reiki. I get it done for myself once a month with one of my friends. She owns her own like she's an astrologer, and she's a Reiki Master. Her business is House of Chiron. She's out of Round Rock, Texas. Her name is Jasmine. I'm just shouting out real quick. Anyway, whenever I get Reiki done, she will be in the room with me. Like she falls asleep, like she snores every time I get Reiki done. It's like it's crazy. I don't know. They just know.
Yeah.
I have a question because you're all Reiki and everything. Is it hard for your dating life because you pick up all these like energies? I'm just curious.
I mean, I'm about to be married now, so it's like I don't have to worry about all these.
So did you felt the energy like you can pick up on that real quick?
You can though. Now there's certain things. I don't know what's going on in my hair. It was just like there are certain things you can pick up on these people. For real. Like you just I don't know, it's interesting. Like you just know. You just know. Like when I met Devin, I just knew. Like, and it was like I had that first day I met him, I knew, I needed to do some further investigation. But we always do our investigation. But I felt that, you feel this connection from your chest, now I knew like it's a heart center. But you felt it here. And it's like I don't know, it's like you just feel like, I need to know more about I have to know more. Versus like I don't need to know more. Because some people are just like, that's not gonna work.
You felt it in your chest.
And then some people have these blockages, so you can't even be in tune with your own perception. You can't be in tune with your own, like you said, that the third eye ain't open. Like you have
can't see.
Yeah, you can't see it.
Okay, since you said blockage, what's that little the stone you have up there?
That was my protection stone. So
she said if you have bad energy, they can't come into the house
unless you invite them in. And this man, I'm telling you, I said this man, he did not want to come into the house. I said that man, there's something wrong with that man. Because I got my protection stone above my around windows and everything, because it protects and keep it out. And they said if you don't invite them in, they won't come into your home because you've already blessed that you said this is what this energy is for, whatever.
But most people you have to invite them in. I mean,
no, you open the door. I'm walking out. You coming on in? Like I'm especially my family. Sometimes I just check in. Unless I know you got guns or something, you be like, hey, I'm coming in. Nobody just waits and say, come on in. You open the door. That's your invitation in. Who does that? Maybe it's just me. But
I mean, your house, do you
it
say
will
come
be
in?
blocked. Yes.
Yes, I do. But if they feel like they can't come in, then I'm not gonna force it.
You just standing there. Weirdo? No, man. No.
Like if you feeling something where you don't want to come in my house, well, maybe you don't need to be in my house. I don't know, like something's protecting us right now.
I just thought people were supposed to invite you in. I just don't. I mean,
the invitation is when you open the door, because you don't open. You just be like, "Who is it?" Right? You be like, "Who is it?" And then you know who it is. So when you open the door, that's welcome them on in. We're not gonna hold Dr. Joy.
No, I like this.
Okay.
Next time I go to somebody's house, I'm about to see, do I just go in or I wait for them to say, come on in?
Before we move anything over here, we had a lady came in, an eevangelist. She came in, she blessed the house, she put the stuff over here. I said, yes, do everything, do it all, honey. I'm like, cause you never know, cause like they say, like if something traumatic happens in your house, it could get stuck in there. I write down while everything had to be cleansed before I would move.
No, I had to come in and do that before we moved over here. I saged, I prayed, I went through each room, said what needs to be said, because I mean we actually met the people that lived in the house and they seemed very nice. But you still have to be able to set the frequency that you want to live in.
Yep, and the people who lived here before was old and sick. I was like, oh no, we don't have that. But
No.
Tasha, I get the sage and stuff. And then my son, he be acting weird. I get to sage him up down. And my oldest son, he is so intuitive now that he'll be like, "Mommy, I need some sage. You know, I need to clear. Like seriously." And she be like, "This week."
It do kind of. It can have a little hit. It can throw you off. And you're like, what happened in here?
And Satan, then I put me some Palo Santos. I do some Palo Santos to try to just bring some sweetness.
Bring it back.
Yeah, bring something back, and you clear out everything. Then what's left? Nothing.
Sometimes it be so smoked up in it.
Yeah, Devin will come back like when he'll leave. He'll come back and say, "Oh, I know what was going on in here." I'm like, what is it? The sage lady.
Yes, ma'am. So if anybody has questions, I'm going to allow Dr. Jordan to say any final words, and then we're gonna go ahead and close out the podcast. Go ahead, Dr. Jordan. You have
I'm sorry. I didn't know if I'm over here waiting. I just want to say thank you for inviting me onto the podcast. I really enjoyed talking with you all, and it's always, really fun and interesting to talk and share about what we do on this side of medicine. I'm especially, talking to my people, talking to people that look like me, because we tend to get left out a lot, just simply because, and what's strange is that we're some of the people that did all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. So we need to start bringing it back. Yeah. We need to get back to all of these natural processes and things that we do, connecting back with the earth, connecting back with nature. And, shifting from this, this modern concept that we have now that's really taking us away from who we really should be. Mm. Kind of like, figuring out what the matrix is and trying, getting back to that, to you. Mm-hmm. We got to do that.
That's right. That's right. And that's what I think. I'm glad you said that, grounded, because I wake up in the morning saying I'm powerful, rooted, and strong. I'm powerful, rooted, and strong. And then I go just being that. Why are you looking at me like that? I go in the yard and I don't have my shoes on. That's where I do prayer and stuff like that sometimes, because I just want to be with nature. And I feel like the ground has so much, because like when you go to the ocean, that's the perfect time to release. You just release it. It's all, this don't belong to me. This don't belong to me. I just tell myself that, and I say, I don't know. I just feel like they came from Earth, so we just have to make sure we stay.
Yeah. We gotta respect Mother Earth. Mother Earth, okay. We gotta respect her.
But I'm starting to get into it more. I just feel like I'm naturally.
There's a lot of people getting back. Mm-hmm. We're returning. I feel like something, in the pandemonium of 2020, I feel like something shifted and it opened up a lot of people's eyes and minds, and they can see and hear things differently. Mm-hmm. A lot of people actually can now.
Yeah. And I think that's because we have relied so heavily on technology and contemporary medicine. I'm just gonna say it, but
we gotta get rid of some of these electronics, because she said that's part of
I know, right? I know we gotta get some shun. I can't even say it, but anyway,
y'all need to get a hold of us, mail us letters. We get rid of all of it.
Okay. But one of the things that I have been doing is like disconnecting from social media and everything at least 2 times a day for 45 minutes. So just have that energy. But like I was reading this book by that Life Magical Journey sent me from by Dr. Despons. I'm probably saying the name wrong. But he was talking about how, these things that you had to basically get the stuff even out of the room. Like if you leave your alarm clock, you put it in another room, they make you get up and go turn it off anyway. But
right.
So that is everything. I just I'm fascinated with all of this, and we appreciate you being here. Everybody's saying that this has been a great conversation.
Oh, I appreciate you all for watching.
Mm-hmm. And she is oh gosh, what is it on all the social medias? I have a point for that.
Yeah.
And she does have a YouTube channel. You can reach out to her if you would like. And so that is it. You have any final words?
I'm gonna try some of this. The Reiki. I need to find a Reiki master so I can woosah.
You sure do.
Yeah.
Thinking she's got an appointment with you. You need virtual, in person.
I'll be down there next weekend.
Come on. You know, it's a little 4 hour. You know.
We're supposed to come to Houston for
spring break. So
Okay.
we have schedule sessions with you.
Yeah, let me know. We can do it.
All right. Thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate you. And if you do have any further comments or anything after the live stream, please leave them down below. If you enjoyed, thumbs up the video, share it out. It's not too late to share the live stream out because it's the replay, baby. Okay. And you can refresh the screen and leave a comment below. Let Dr. Jordan know that we appreciate her for being here. And we're going to see you all in the next one. Peace.